For 32 years, every Friday evening felt the same. Marcus would come home from the hardware store he managed, loosen his tie, pour himself a small glass of rum and sit at the kitchen table while I cooked dinner. "Pension's growing nice and steady, Lena," he'd say with that proud smile. "By the time we both retire, we'll have enough to buy that little cabin up in Murray, watch the grandchildren run around the hills." I believed him. Why wouldn't I? Marcus was steady, dependable, the man who never missed a school event for our son Jamal, who held my hand through my mother's long illness, who framed every single one of my nursing certificates on the living room wall. I was a registered nurse for 28 years at Civil Hospital in Lahore before retiring at 58. My pension, modest but secure, was supposed to be our safety net. Marcus handled the paperwork, of course. "You've worked enough night shifts, John," he always said. "Let me take care of the boring stuff." And I let him, blindly, lovingly. Then came the stroke. It happened on a Tuesday morning in March 2025. Marcus was in the garage fixing the old motorcycle he never rode anymore. I found him slumped against the toolbox, phone still in his hand, half dialed to 15. The ambulance came fast, but the damage was done. Massive hemorrhagic stroke. He lingered 3 weeks in ICU, long enough for Jamal to fly in from Dubai, long enough for our daughter-in-law Aisha to bring the twins from Karachi, long enough for me to sit beside his bed whispering forgiveness for every small argument we ever had. He never woke up to hear it. After the funeral, the house felt too quiet. Jamal stayed a week to help sort papers. That's when we found the first red flag. In Marcus's study drawer, always locked, always just old receipts, was a thin blue folder labelled simply Pension, Lena. I opened it, expecting statements, contribution records, maybe a nice projection chart. Instead, there were only 3 sheets. A printed email from the Punjab Employees Pension Fund, dated 18 months earlier. Transfer request approved. PKR 4,200,000 rupees to personal account number PK78HBL, effective 15 July 2024. A withdrawal slip photocopy showing the full amount moved out in one go, and a handwritten note in Marcus's neat block letters. "Lena, if you're reading this, I'm gone and you know. I'm so sorry. The startup failed. Everything failed. I thought I could fix it before you noticed. I never meant for you to pay. Marcus, 2025. My knees gave out. Jamal caught me before I hit the floor. 4,200,000 rupees, my entire pension, every overtime shift, every missed family dinner, every year I scrubbed blood off my hands, was gone. Transferred to an account I'd never seen, then vanished into something Marcus called the startup. Jamal was furious. "Abu did what?" He paced the living room like a caged animal. Aisha sat silently holding my hand, the twins asleep upstairs. I couldn't speak. The room spun. We called the pension office the next morning. The clerk was polite but firm. "The transfer was authorised with your digital signature, madam. The OTP went to the registered mobile number." "My mobile number?" I whispered. "Yes, the one linked since 2018. Marcus had my phone passcode. He'd borrowed it countless times to check something quickly. I never thought twice. Jamal hired a lawyer that same week, Barrister Farooq Ahmed, a quiet man in his late 50s who specialised in financial fraud cases. We met in his small office near Liberty Market. I laid out everything, the folder, the email, the note. Barrister Farooq read Marcus's confession silently, then looked up. This is identity theft combined with embezzlement of pension funds, criminal under Section 420 and 468 PPC, plus violation of pension regulations. But he's deceased. That complicates civil recovery. Can we get the money back? Jamal asked. Possibly, if we prove coercion or forgery of consent, but we'll need forensic digital evidence, phone records, IP logs, bank trails, and we'll have to sue the pension fund for negligence in verification. How much will it cost? I asked. Barrister Farouk was honest. Retainer, $35,000. Expert witness for digital forensics, another $80,000 to $100,000. Court fees, travel, total could reach 4 to 5 lakhs before we see any result. I had 17,000 rupees left in my personal account. Jamal had some savings, but his own family was stretched thin after Dubai rent hikes. That night I cried properly for the first time since the funeral. Not just for Marcus, but for the version of our marriage I thought we had. The man who kissed my forehead every morning had stolen my future while I slept beside him. Jamal wanted to drop it. Let it go, Ummi. Abu's gone. We'll manage somehow. But Aisha surprised us both. No, she said quietly at breakfast. This isn't just about money, it's about what he did to our trust, to our children's future. The twins' education, our emergency fund, everything is affected now. We fight. So we fought. Barrister Farouk got a court order to freeze any remaining traces in the receiving account. It was already almost empty, only 180,000 rupees left. The rest had gone to a failed tech startup in Islamabad, website now defunct, monthly consultancy fees to a man named Bilal Khan, luxury watch purchases from an online store in Karachi. Bilal Khan turned out to be Marcus's old college friend who pitched the guaranteed 300% return idea. He disappeared abroad when the company collapsed. The digital forensics expert confirmed what we feared. The OTP requests were sent from Marcus's laptop using my SIM in his phone. He'd practiced my electronic signature on multiple draft documents. He knew exactly how to make it look legitimate. Jamal's anger turned cold and focused. He spent nights building a timeline spreadsheet. Every transfer, every lie. Aisha handled the twins so I could attend meetings. Slowly, the pieces came together. 6 months later, we had our first small win. The pension fund agreed to reissue 40% of the amount, 1.68 million rupees, as a goodwill partial restoration, while the case continued, citing internal verification failures. It wasn't enough, but it was air. I paid the lawyer, bought groceries without counting coins, enrolled the twins in a better school. Then came the second blow. During document discovery, we found another folder hidden inside an old engineering textbook on Marcus's shelf. It contained credit card statements in Jamal's name. 5 cards. Total outstanding 1.4 million rupees. Forged signatures. Marcus had opened them quietly 3 years earlier, maxed them out on startup investments, and quietly paid minimums from my pension transfers. Jamal stared at the papers for a long minute. He used my name too, he said, voice flat. My credit's ruined. I can't even get a car loan now. That was the moment something broke in Jamal, and then rebuilt stronger. He looked at me and said, "We finish this. For you, for the twins, for every person he lied to." We added Jamal as co-plaintiff. The case expanded. In March 2026, exactly 1 year after the stroke, the judge ruled. The pension fund was held partially liable for lax OTP verification. Marcus's actions were declared fraudulent. The remaining stolen amount, after expenses and failed investments, was unrecoverable, but the court ordered full reissuance of my pension with backdated increments, credit repair assistance for both me and Jamal, and damages of 800,000 rupees from the pension fund for negligence. It wasn't the full 4 million, but it was enough to breathe. Today, I live in a small rented flat in Sadaqabad, not the Murray cabin we dreamed of, but clean, mine. I started a WhatsApp group for women whose husbands controlled or stole their finances. We call it Apna Hisab. 32 members now. Every Thursday we share stories, lawyers' contacts, recovery tips. Jamal rebuilt his credit. He and Aisha bought a small plot outside Lahore. Nothing fancy, just land for the future. The twins call me every evening to tell me about school. And every month, when my pension direct deposit hits, I open my banking app myself. I check the balance, I save screenshots. I remember. Marcus loved me once. I still believe that part was real. But love doesn't excuse theft. And trust must be earned twice. Once with words.